Okay, cats are fed, litter box is cleaned, phone is turned off. I think I'm ready. Are you ready? Have something to drink? Went to the potty? Got your stitching? All right, part 2. Here we go. First, I spent some time yesterday going through my Extrude app again, putting in all the GSD 2021s that I felt were necessary or that I wanted. I also added finish, winter, spring, summer, fall, and small to the different ones so that I have a better feel for all the ones that I'd like to touch at some point in 2021 when I will touch them. Now, one of you commented, I don't know whether it was on the video or on Instagram, that even if I finished like 10, I still have 80 projects. And that was rather a daunting thought. I probably have enough projects here to do no new starts for 3 years. That's not going to happen. You know me too well. But I do hope to get a few of these big ones done. So I have a pretty good feel of where I'm going in 2021. For those that haven't watched my previous floss tube where I laid this out, let me go ahead and explain. The first week of every month is going to be Farewell to Anger, so I can get some good progress in on that. The second week of every month is going to be working on the project, one of the projects that I want to finish. So some good solid time, and I will continue to work on that project the second week of every subsequent month until I get it done, and then I will bring in a new one. The third and fourth weeks are dedicated to projects that are in the theme of the month, so I can get progress done and get some closer to being finished, although they won't have the dedicated time like the ones are that I want to get finished. Hope that made sense. And then the smalls. So the smalls are the ones that I work on an hour a day, and I will pick ones for each month that are probably themic, maybe. That's still up for grabs. And the smalls can be anything from, like I said, like I pointed out yesterday, the Do Re Mi sampler with all the separate little squares. Each one of those I consider a small. Even Death by Cross Stitch. I made Death by Cross Stitch a small. I know. Laugh all you want, but there's a method to my madness. My idea is that if I can work on that an hour a day, a few months during the year, I will at least get some progress, right? So that's my method for those. So I feel like I have a good outline now of where I'm going. I have January chosen. Hoity-toity is first up to try and get finished. I don't know whether I have the other 2 months lined up yet or not. To give you an idea of what my stitchy day looks like. When I get up, if I have time in the morning, if I'm not doing a video, if I don't have any errands to run, and of course these days I'm not going anywhere, so no errands to run. If I don't have any work that I want to get done in the RV, well, that's not necessarily an issue. It's mostly if I'm doing a video that day or not. If I'm not doing a video, I have a little bit more of a relaxed morning and I can spend an hour on something. Sometimes it's my knitting. Haven't talked about my knitting yet, and that definitely is going to be in there as well. And then I start my day, breakfast, shower, all that stuff. Once I have that done, I consider the next part of the day my work day. So the work day usually includes either working on a design on the computer or stitching on one of my designs that I need to stitch the model for, and then any other housework that I want to get done in there. So that usually get 2 to 3 hours of work time a day if I'm not doing a video. If I'm doing a video, that time is dedicated to the video and editing and uploading and everything that goes with that. Then in the afternoon, I usually consider my workday done around 3:30, 4, somewhere around in there. I can turn to my 1 hour a day projects. And that is usually something from Fat Quarter Shop, like right now it's the Prim Stitch series. And then whatever other hour a day project that I want to work on. And right now it's my little Christmas ones. After dinner, well, sometimes before dinner, but after dinner is my big project time. And I usually get 3 to 4 hours of stitching in on whatever my big project of the day is. So we end the day 10 or 10:30, head to bed, and it starts all over again. So any given day, if it's a good stitchy day, I'm usually stitching 6-7 hours on and off through the day, just to give you an idea of how much time I'm putting into all of these. Okay, let's get going on some stitching. I have about the same amount in my bin here as I had yesterday. Yesterday I also showed you my Christmas, my current WIPs as well, so there was a little more yesterday. We are starting off though with the gorgeous Luz Gonzalez. There's another Bitsy Bob in here. Has anybody been keeping track of the Bitsy Bobs? Bitsy Bob number, I don't know what. I am using the called for silks on this. This is Luz Gonzalez 1851 by Samplers Remembered. This is a a Spanish colonial reproduction sampler, and it is stunning. I believe I got this, oh yes, the tag's on it. I got this at the attic. Isn't that gorgeous? Just, you know, I'm not much of a traditional sampler person, but give me an unusual sampler with so many pretty motifs and splotches of color, and I am all in. I am stitching this on 46 count. This is the linen that from Victorian Motto that she had in the kit for the Eliza Bell Cox sampler. I did get the linen for that. Now, 46 count is not a good count for the called for silk of Versoix. A Versoix silk, each strand is equal to about 1.5 strands of DMC. So it is a little bit thick for 46 count. I, number one, wasn't aware of that when I started, and number two, I thought this was 40 count, and as I started it, and then when I picked it up again later, I was like, you know, this thread seems really thick for 40 count. What's going on? Well, then I think somebody informed me when I mentioned it in a floss tube that it's actually 46 count. So that would explain that. But of course, I am not starting over. So this is down for some winter stitching this year, which means sometime here in the first quarter of the year. As much as I would love to see this finished, that's not going to happen this year with all the other finishes I hope to get done. Next year maybe, but not this year. You know, I am getting hot already. It's only 9:30 this morning. I'm getting an earlier start. It says it's 39. It's actually more like in the 40s here now with the sun coming out. And I have this sweater on. I'm gonna have to open this window next to me because I'm starting to get hot. This is hard work. Okay, number one. Let's see, where are we? Luz. Oh, the next one. So pretty. The next one is a mandala from Cross Stitch Collectibles. This was one of their bookmarks, one of their free bookmarks, and I loved it so much, I got the full pattern. Now this is Mandala 8. So if you go to the Cross Stitch Collectibles site and go to their, this might be in the fractals section. if you go to their PDF section and go to the fractals. Isn't it gorgeous? I love this. Of course you love it. You bought it and you started it. I actually have this down for spring. This is on a 28 count even weave. Stitching it over one with the called for DMCs. And you can see all the amazing progress I have. Now I don't have the overhead light on in here today, and I think I need to turn that on, because as much as it's very yellow, it's still very dark. I'll be right back. In an RV, I don't have to go far. This is so pretty. Stitch all the things, right? That's certainly what I want to do. So spring, this will come into the rotation at some point this year. And I really like that I'm this organized. I'm very much a J personality, ask my husband. So I do like being organized. I'm not usually this organized though. So, all right, next. As I wrestle with my project bags, this is one you've seen fairly recently, the Margaret Howden sampler from the Exemplary shop. Oh, there's so much here. Where's the picture? Hold on. So I started this, was it back in September, the end of September? Time flies when you're in lockdown. Oh my God, look what I just found. My pattern for the drawn thread Christmas bits. Little bits of Christmas. I told you it was around here somewhere. Oh my God, that goes there. I don't know where you go. Oh. Now, the center, see, so that's the one I'm doing, right? And see how it says Christmas in there? I was probably originally planning to put Christmas in there. Instead, I'm doing the peace, love, joy. Oh well. And those are the other little motifs at the bottom. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad I found it. What do you go to? All right, we go with that one. Oh my God. All right, so there's the picture for Little Bits of Christmas. Where's the picture for Margaret Howden? Oh my God. Again, I hope you have as much fun as I do. You know, it might be on the front of the box, and the box is up in the cabinet, but that's okay. I have the picture here. The Margaret Howden sampler from the Exemplary shop. Rose Heck is doing this with me. Rose Heck did not put it away, so she is making tons of progress, and I am not. I have this, do I have this down? I have this down for some spring stitching. Big. This was a kit, so everything is from the kit. I don't have noted down what size fabric it is. I think 32 maybe. Maybe 28, and it is all DMC. So I have a nice little start there. I have a bird, and I have a leaf. So, this is the one that I realized in a conversation with Rose that I should have been stitching the leaf and the bird with one strand of floss. And I was going to take it out, but Rose was like, don't worry about it. Nobody's going to notice. And I should still have enough floss that, you know, that little bit hopefully won't throw me off too far. And if not, I'll just have to get more and hope that the dye lots match. But Exemplary Shop is on Etsy. I don't know if she has more of these kits or not. I think she got them restocked. If you're interested. All right, so there is that one. Next we have Midsummer Garden by Extrude Design. So this was a whole kit from her. This one I started back, and this was one of my Mania starts from 2018. I haven't touched it much since, and it's not getting any attention in 2018. It is gorgeous. So if I remember correctly, like I said, this is all Extrude Design. The fabric is Rocky Mountain. So it's a pretty mottled gray. And every once in a while you'll see Rocky Mountain in her Etsy store. I do not think this is available anymore. I think she stopped kitting these up. And I don't know if just the pattern's available or not. But like I said, it's all her floss, it's her fabric, and her pattern. That is not getting any attention though. As pretty as it is, I can't do them all. I'm still just laughing inside at finding my little Christmas pattern there. Told you it was around here somewhere. Alrighty. Oh, let's see. Okay, so this one hasn't gotten any attention for a long time. This was another Mania start, and it's still not going to get any attention. A Moment in Chalk by Hands On Design. Now this is the one that it has this at the center and this little square, like, let's see, I have one of them in here, floral designs around the edges, like that. I was going to do it that way, and that's how I started it. But then I saw it at a stitching post, the model done at a stitching post with just the center mounted on kind of a turquoisey, kind of similar to this, what they have here. And it was gorgeous. And I was like, you know something? I don't need to do the whole thing. The beauty of it, each moment of the year has its own beauty. Well, the beauty of this pattern really is this centerpiece. So I have it started. This is, again, Extrude Design fabric. I believe this is 36 count chalkboard by Extrude Design. And you can see it's a huge piece to do that whole thing with just the little banner that I started in the middle. But since I've decided I'm not doing the whole thing, that I'm just going to do the center, I don't need to put it in the center of this huge piece. So I'm going to take this out, recalculate for just the center stitching so I don't waste a bunch of this fabric, because it is, again, Extrude Design, gorgeous fabric. Chalkboard. I don't know how often she has this fabric in her store. I don't see it very often, and I do kind of keep a close eye on her weekly updates because I haven't gotten any in a while. Actually, I've gotten some through Kitten Stitcher, but I do love it. All right, moving into the ends, starting the ends. Remember that one? Narnia. This one is mine, one of my designs. I have this slated for the fall using the gorgeous Oxide floss from Mrs. Sadus. Let me show you what the complete design looks like. So my inspiration for this design was a wardrobe. I was looking through pictures on Google of antique stores here in San Antonio, and there was a wardrobe, an armoire, that had wonderful wood carving panels on the front. And that was my inspiration for this. And so, because it was a wardrobe, I named it Narnia. Again, I am using Extrude Design fabric. This is Gray Sand by Extrude Design. And I love how oxide is looking on this. You can see I got a pretty sweet little start of the corner up here. You can see my little leaf vine border. Got my cute little birds in, at least one of them. So this will get some more attention this fall. I'm looking forward to it. It won't get finished this year. I do not have this down as a finish. Did I say 36 count? One strand of silk. All right, next we have one that I don't know that I've ever, no, I'm out of order, hold on. I don't know that I've ever showed it in a video. Maybe I did at one point a long time ago. This was my little project to take with me when we would go to the beach. Oh, look, a piece of oxide has decided to run amok. Hold, please. Had to take a break and get some water. My throat was hurting quite a bit by the time I was done yesterday, so water is important. Anyways, this is the little kit that I would take with me whenever we would just go to hang out at the beach. It is just a little dimensions kit. It didn't go quite as fast as I had hoped. It didn't get as much attention as I had hoped for various reasons. Basically, all I have done is just this little side. I have the word ocean done. And you won't be able to see that as well until I get all of this filler background in. Of course, the kit did come with Ada, but I subbed that out for a linen, and I don't have in here what size linen. I'm using 2 strands of floss, so it's probably a 32 count. This is going to be one of my smalls for the year that I hope to get done. It will be a summer small, if you can imagine that. All right. Next. This one is one of the PDFs that I got from, oh, let's see, the Lola Lotta shop on Etsy. This is that gorgeous elephant. Isn't that pretty? I have decided it's not getting any attention in 2021. Unfortunately. I just have that little bit started. It was, let's see, oh, this was a birthday start in 2019. So it's going to have to wait a little bit longer before it gets some love. I am stitching it on 28 count even weave Jobelin dense fog. But yeah, it's not going to get any attention just yet. Next, in my handy dandy little CD case, I have Pandemic. All right. Did I put anything? I didn't put anything for pandemic for this year. So yeah, pandemic may not get any love. I actually have the fabric all folded up in here. This is Silver Fox 46 count. Silver Fox by Lakes Fiber on a Whim. And I am using all Mrs. Sadis floss for it. And it is so much fun playing with color with this. I have black for the outline and then all kinds of different of her colors. I don't know, I think I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get this in the schedule at some point because this needs some love. So I do have her floss in the CD pockets. So it's just all, you can see it, not a ton of colors, but a number of them to create that rainbow effect that you know I love so much. Yeah, that's, I'm gonna have to figure out what month I want to work on that because that needs some love. I don't know, probably spring or summer. Let's see. The next one is also one that isn't going to be getting any attention. You know, I really do feel bad saying that, but I just know getting even what I want done is going to be a challenge. So this is Paradise Floral by Cooler Design Studios. So this is the one that's very Hawaiian, right? The bird of paradise flowers. This was my month where I started all the Hawaiian themed ones, April of 2019. And I just got a little bit in the center done here. So that is just right where the word paradise starts in that beginning of that leaf. So yeah, long way to go on that. Not going to worry about it for this year. This is all DMC. Like I said, the pattern, maybe I didn't say, I did get the PDF from Cooler Design Studio, so yeah. The next one, look at that gorgeous project bag. That's from Kay. The next one is a must finish in 2021. Patchwork. Patchwork is a PDF that I bought from Nalendrad on Etsy. It is a design by Jan Haltman. It is also, I believe you can also get, if you want the hard copy. I don't know whether the Etsy shop Nalendrad sells the hard copy. I'm pretty sure you can get the hard copy on this site, European Cross Stitch. They do carry Jan Haltman's designs. And they are gorgeous. This was a must-have as soon as I saw it, because of course big and complicated. But instead of doing it in a variety of different colors like that, I am using Mrs. Sadis silk, and I'm doing a rainbow across the design. So diagonal rainbow like this, Roy G. Biv, so red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, Roy G. Biv, blue, right, red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, green, blue, indigo, violet. My brain doesn't always keep up with my mouth. Isn't that gorgeous? And again, Mrs. Sadis, I won't be able to use all of her colors. I think that was my original intent when I started this. I did start this in July of 2019, but she's come out with a bunch more colors since then. So it'll just be a pick of rainbow colors as I'm going along. I don't really have it planned out too much. I'll just keep her colors next to me, and so pretty. That pink, and then the color in the middle is Supernova, one of her variegateds. Oh my God, that is so gorgeous. So yeah, this is a must finish for 2019. This is being stitched on, let's see, just a 36 count. I think this is just a white or an antique white Zweigert. Nothing fancy because I wanted the color and the designs to shine. So that is that one. Next, this was another Mania start. This one is not going to get any attention this year. This is the Philip Foster Farmhouse by Heartstring Samplery. This is another one of the Sampler Girl, of the Country Samplers, Sampler Girl Farmhouse series. And this design is based on a house that's actually in the area of Oregon where Beth Twist lives. So that is that. Again, this was a kit, so this is probably a 36 count linen that came in the kit. I have a bit of an outline done there. Not a whole lot, but like I said, this one, you know, unless things go much quicker than I expect them to, which, you know, never happens, right? This one won't get any attention. If it did, it would be a small, and I guess there's a possibility I could add it into the lineup somewhere as a small, but for right now, it's not on my list. Next is another PDF that I got. I think this was one of the ones from My Bobbin whenever I was helping to promote them when they were new. This is called Pink Etude. It is a Russian design. Oh, let me get the design first. It is so gorgeous. So peonies, and I started down here in the bottom left corner with those leaves, and I'm stitching this on a 32 count unknown linen, one of those from my stash that I was gifted. So I am using 2 strands, and I believe it's just the DMC that's called for. This I have down to come into the rotation in the spring. I don't have which month yet, but that's okay. That could use a little love, and because I love peonies and because I love spring. Maybe it'll be during my birthday month, March. Sounds like a plan. Even though the peonies don't bloom until later. All right, next. Pretty Little Hawaii. From Satsuma Street. You can get these and any of her other little pretty little designs on her Etsy shop. Again, one of my Hawaii theme starts. This was in March, so this was one of my birthday starts. And I just have some water at the bottom done, and 2 little whales. I have this down to pick it up in the summer this year and put some stitches in it. This is a 36 count, just white linen, Zweigert white linen, nothing fancy. And I am stitching it with the DMC, 1 strand of DMC over 2. Well, Prim Stitch Club we already saw because that's one of my current ones. Promise of Spring. This is actually one of the ones that didn't make it into my app, and I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot. Whoops, wrong one, hold on. I totally forgot I was doing this. This is what happens when you have so many WIPs. So this is the Cottage Garden samplings, one of their series, and I would love to do all of these at some point. Stitches from the Heart did have the models of all of these, and they are stunning. This was a start in, well, actually, I don't know. This might have been another birthday or a birthday start this year. So I have absolutely no notes for this because, like I said, I didn't get it put into my app when I started it. But I do have a little sticky on here. I think this fabric was given to me by Patsy Williams. Did you give this to me at StitchCon? One of you did when I did the interview. Anyways, this is a 27 count Linda fabric. I am stitching over 1 with close to the called for. I think some of them are the called for over dyed flosses, and some are just whatever I have that's close. So all I have on this is the word hope. And this isn't the pretty mottled fabric like they have in the model here, but that's okay. I do not have this on my schedule at all for this year. It'd be kind of appropriate to do it in spring, but I'm not going to add it unless something opens up, because I have an awful lot already on my list. Next is one you've seen recently, Pumpkins for Sale by Lori Holt, Be in My Bonnet. This is the crazy one that I am doing on the linen that's not meant for stitching from Fiber on a Whim. So it is totally not an even weave. It was a little bit more difficult than I expected, but it was also fun. I think it is gorgeous on this fabric. I just ran out of time. So I put this on the schedule again for the fall. It'll probably come out to play again in October, and hopefully I can make some more progress. I may just do the sign and a couple more pumpkins and a couple more sunflowers and call it done. But I think it's really fun. Not meant to be stitched on like this, but it's always fun to try. Oh, and look. This was from Kelly Stadola, the bag, and a little cutie bob, bitsy bob thingy in there. Because I gotta tell you, when I come across all the bitsy bobs. All right. This is another biggie and another gorgeous Quaker Seasons of Friendship by Crown and Thistle, also known as R&R Reproductions, and the shop Dying to Stitch. So that's where I got all of this. Like I said, this is a biggie. It's a stunning design though, isn't it? Oh my God, I love this. So it is seasons. You have kind of a rough dividing line here and here. So you have winter there, winter, summer, spring, fall. And I just have a touch of winter done. I am using Mrs. Sadis's copper. Isn't that gorgeous? God, God, that's so pretty. And the fabric is 40 count weathered shingle by R&R Reproductions. Isn't that wonderful? I have this scheduled to come out to play for a little bit in the fall of 2021. Maybe I'll be able to get the winter section done. That would be awesome. So yeah. Poor Dying to Stitch got a run on this pattern when I actually saw it on Lisa Smith's, there's a theme here, right? Kindred Stitcher's video when she and her friend Lori were in Virginia at Dying to Stitch for one of their retreats. Lisa did a kind of a panning video of the different models in the shop. And this was one of them. And I wrote to Lisa, whoa, stop right there. What is that one? And I called Dying to Stitch and ordered all the things, showed it on my video, and they proceeded to sell out of it. I think multiple times. Wait, I don't want the silk in there. I want the silk with the fabric. The pattern can go in there. This goes in the fabric bag. I do try to treat my fabric better by putting it in fabric muslin bags instead of in plastic. I'm not as consistent as I should be though. All right, so that one is going to come out to play in the fall. Next, another oldie but goodie. I started this. This is a Mania start in 2018. I had a lot of Mania starts. I think I did one every day for the whole month. And maybe into June as well. I have finished them. Oh, and I wanted to let you guys know, I have 24 finishes so far for this year, which is nice, right? That's a good chunk. A lot of them are my own designs that I stitched the models for. I hope to have another finish, at least one more finish before the year is over, one of my little Christmas things. So I do get stuff done. This is an oldie but goodie, like I said, Sally Spencer. There was a Sal back in 2018 where a lot of us were working on this. And a lot of others finished it. Needless to say, I didn't. This is on Confederate Gray by Weeks Dye Works, 36 count. Confederate Gray is one of my favorite fabrics, one of my favorite colors. I just love the modeling. I love the different subtle shadings. So Sally Spencer, you can see, still has a lot to go. She is going to come out and play, where do I have her? In the fall. So yeah, I am using, I don't think I'm using any of the called for colors. Close, but not exact. I don't think I have the color conversion listed anywhere either. I don't think I have it on my blog. I might have put it there. Yeah, maybe I did put it there. Anyways. That one will get a little bit more attention here this coming year. I don't expect to get it done, but we'll see. Hopefully I can get it close. The next one, the next one I don't have around to show you. I couldn't find this one. It must be in a box somewhere. So this is another one that is my own, one of my full coverage designs. This is from a photo in a little shop in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Just a gorgeous little shop with all the little Santa Fe-like pottery and wooden knickknacks. I mean, it was just, oh. It was screaming to have its picture taken. And now it is a cross-stitch design as well, a full coverage design. I did start this I have most of this box done. You talk about confetti. Confetti hell is that little box right there. This is the one I'm doing is, of course, full high resolution, lots of colors, because why not? I don't know where the project actually is. It's in a box somewhere. I think I actually have the floss in a binder here with me. I don't know. I don't know. All right, next. This is a start from March of 20. This was a start with Carolyn Zook for our birthday month. Scenic Farm. Now you have seen Michelle Rudy, Farm Girl Stitcher, stitch this and finish it, and it is stunning. And I am not much of a farm girl, although I grew up in farm country in western Pennsylvania, and my father was a farmer at heart, although it's not like we had a farm. I have many, many fond memories, though, of doing farm and barn puzzles with him in the long winter months. And so this is in honor of my father, who I share a birthday with, March 12th. I was his favorite birthday present. So let me get a feel for what I'm looking at here. I started down here in the bottom left, so I have some of this snow done and this little shed right here next to the barn, although it doesn't have a roof yet. And of course I'm not using the Ada that came in the kit. I am using the floss that came in the kit, but my linen I do not have noted down. This looks like it's probably a 32 count, probably a Witchelt fabric, some kind of like a dove gray or a shell gray. I thought it kind of mimicked the gray, snowy winter sky quite well. And speaking of snowy winter skies, how are you guys in the Northeast doing? Holy cow, talk about a first snowfall of the season. I saw in New York that there's some places that have 4 feet. Michelle Lausen, how do you say your last name, Michelle? I don't know. She's up in the Albany area, Schenectady, is that right? 3 feet. Gorgeous to look at. I'll take my 32 degrees with no snow, thank you very much. Or 30 degrees with no snow. Actually, I think snow is lovely if you don't have to go out in it, especially if you don't have to go to work in it. Suits me just fine. All right, next. I am moving through this. I don't know whether I'll get in under an hour, but I still have quite a few to go. Schoolhouse Lessons ABCdarian from Brenda Gervais. I started this. Oh, I don't have a start date on this. Huh. I'll have to look this up. Oh, did I say when I was doing, am I doing Scenic Farm this year? Hold on. Scenic Farm. No, I'm not going to go to Scenic Farm this year. I'm not going to the Scenic Farm this year. This one, though, I'm going to work on in the fall. So, this is the one that was the multi-piece. I should probably make this a small. The multi-piece project, meant to be stitched separately as these small pillows. I got it in my head because I saw somebody else do it, to do it as one piece. But now looking at those pillows, I kind of like them, you know, I'm not as afraid of smalls now as I was when I started this. This is the called for mushroom, 28 count mushroom Lagana, and I am stitching it over 1 with all of the called for everything because I love it. I may make this oh, I do have it as a small. This is what happens when you read without your glasses. I thought it said fall, but it says small. At least I'm consistent, right? So yeah, this is going to be one of my smalls for the year. So hopefully I can get a good chunk of progress done on this. I love it. It's gorgeous. And just right up my alley, over 1. All right. Get it all tucked away in my cool little project bag here. This project bag is actually kind of like a tote type shopping bag that I got at a retreat, the Knit Ithaca retreat with Laura Nelkin, who was one of our goodies. All right, up. Time for the flyboys to go up. All right, next. Time for some more water is what's next. Next we have, oh, it's on its side. Oh well, you'll get the idea. Next we have sea glass. So I mentioned yesterday when showing you Beachcomber that Carolyn Manning did a bunch of different colors for her Shining Star design. This is another one, sea glass. You're going to be seeing the shooting star designs. You're going to be seeing Shooting Star here shortly. I started that one as well. I started Sea Glass and I started Beachcomber. I also own maybe 4 or 5 other of the renditions because I love them so much. I've only started these 3. I know, only. And Sea Glass and Shooting Star will not get any attention until Beachcomber is done, and then I'll turn to another one. Oh, I actually have the hard copy of this one. So there it is. And here is my Incy Wincy Teeny Little Start. So pretty. Again, stitching this over 1 on a 28 count even weave. This is called, the color is called Bay Leaf. Although this looks more blue than what I think of as bay leaf, so I don't know. That might be wrong, but it is a 28 count even weave. So, like I said, this won't get any attention this year. And I don't even have the floss in here still, except for this glomp that's on the fabric. All right. I love, love, love this next one. Seasonal Sun Sign. This is going to be another one of my smalls. This is by Ink Circles. So it is the, let me see if I can explain it so that you understand. It is following the equinoxes of the sun through the year. So it's the different seasons showing where the equinoxes fall for the different seasons. So spring, summer, winter, fall. I thought this was so clever. And of course I am doing it over 1. This is probably 28 count again, Lugana. I have a good chunk of that first square done. Like I said, this is going to be one of the smalls that I work on through the year. I would love to get this one done. It is a lot of stitching. It is a full coverage. But hopefully I can make some good progress on that. This I got at the Silver Needle I ordered online from the Silver Needle. I have not yet been to the Silver Needle. It is not too far from me here in San Antonio. Certainly something that is within reach if we want to do a little exploration, or when I go to one of their retreats. All right, Serenity. Northern Expressions needlework. This is the one with all of the specialty stitches, specifically Jessica stitches and beads. I got this at the same time as I got that baby blue sparkler one. Fell in love with them both. Now, Nicole from Northern Expressions Needlework designed this one after she saw my shades of gold with Mrs. Sadis's Darling floss. And you can see it kind of has the back and forth of the greener areas of the floss and the bluer areas of the floss. And I was just tickled that she got inspiration from my stitching, basically. So of course I had to get this design. Now I am stitching it with Mrs. Sadis's Peacock. So it doesn't have the same type of back and forth as Darling. In fact, it doesn't have hardly any at all. It has some lighter and darker areas, but I didn't want to use Darling again. And I think this will be fine. So I just have a little bit of this started in the middle, and it's just the just cross stitch. I think I had started practicing the Jessica stitch, and I think it took me like 5 or 7 tries. I was going to do a video. Now it's all coming back to me. When did I start this? I started this in December of last year. And actually, I don't know whether that's right. I think this was another one that wasn't in my app. And so I just put in any date because I didn't really remember when I started it. But anyways, I was practicing the Jessica stitch so I could do a video showing you it. And I think it took me like 7 tries before I really got it right. And of course, then I never did get a video done, and it's been all this time. So I will have to, I have this down for winter of 2021. So I will have to practice it again before I try and do it. And I will still try and do a video of it for you. But you can kind of see on there the kind of lighter and darker shades of the floss coming through. So, Serenity, Northern Expressions needlework. And I am sure, oh, and the fabric, again, I don't have it noted down because I didn't do this when I first started, but I'm sure I'm doing, it's probably a 28 count, 2 strands of floss over 2 squares. I'm sure I'm doing whatever the called for is, because like I've said before, if you're doing beads, you want to pretty much stick with the called for so you can make sure that that you have room in your stitching to place the beads. And some of the beads for this are bigger ones. I do have the bead pack somewhere, but it actually isn't in this bag. Moving sucks. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's around here somewhere. Yeah. All right. Next. We have one of our stitches for, and actually I didn't note this down, one of our stitches for May, because May has been declared Sheep Month. This is Sheep Dreams. This is one of the kits that I got from, this might be Lola Lotta's shop too. It was another one of the shops that I was helping to promote. I don't think this is one I got from my bobbin. but it might be. So this is called, well, it's called Dreamers. I call it Sheep Dreams. And all that I have done on this, I'll show you on the picture first, is just some of this sheep and his little face. So the little sheep in the middle. There he is. Oops, I think that's upside down. There he is. You can see his face and his little orange body starting to come into shape. This, I believe, was a, let's see. I started this in August of 2019, and it's a 32 count linen from my stash. The kit, of course, did come with Ada and the floss. I am using the floss that came in it, but of course, switched out to a different fabric. It's just what I do. And actually, you guys benefit from that, because usually once I have a kind of a pile of Ada saved up, then I do a giveaway of the Ada. So you guys benefit from that. All right, so the next one is what I mentioned before, Shooting Star. So this is the one that started her Shooting Star series. And of course you can see all the colors, right? That rainbow. And then she started coming out with all these other color renditions of it, and I just kept falling in love. So I just kept buying. I only started this Sea Glass and Beachcomber. And again, over 1, 28 count. So just a little bit of this one done too. Not enough to see the pattern starting to come. And I just, again, I love these little bits of colors. Just brightening up my life. A nice little, again, full coverage. Just a nice little carpet of color. I love it. I mentioned recently how much I love stitching. I have? Okay. I have all my floss again on the floss holder, tucked in here in one of my bags from Leslie Hurley, Fat Cat Flossing. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so this one is, like I said, is not getting any attention until Beachcomber's done. And actually, I'll probably do Sea Glass first. Next up, we have another Mania 2018 start. This is called, oh, I don't actually know what it's called. It's from a magazine. Small House. Okay, that's what I actually wrote in the app. I just wasn't sure whether I just named it willy-nilly or whether that was the actual name. So this is from Just Cross Stitch, April 2003. And of course the saying, a small house can hold as much love as a large one, is more than just a little appropriate for somebody living in an RV, right? So I love that. It was as true when we were moved from a house to an apartment as it is now. I am doing this, totally changing the colors, because this is just, I mean, it's a very 90s, what did I say, 2003. The palette is very much of the day, right? Too bland for me, too brown. So, of course, I've changed it. There's more blues. There's still some browns. Ooh, there's more blues. I would love to get this one done this year. So this is over dyed flosses. This is 40 count vintage navy bean by Lakeside Linen. They do such an amazing job with their fabrics. I absolutely hate, though, that there is a wrinkle right down the middle of that, of my house. Anyways, vintage navy bean by Lakeside Linen, 40 count. I think this might actually be the first 40 count that I did. This was back in May of 2018. So this one is down for a small this year. So like I said, I'd really like to get that one done. We shall see. I'd like to get them all done. I'm not picky. The next one, I don't really care when I get it done. This is just so much white stitching. Spring Jack, an older one from Plum Street. Look at that pumpkin. It's adorable. I love the flowers around it and the alphabet, but holy cow, that pumpkin goes on for days. And I don't even know which way this goes. Probably this way. That's what I have done. Like I said, this was a Mania 18 start. Yeah. I don't know when I'll get back to this. Someday. I do have my color conversion written into my notes. I used a lot of VMST, Victorian Motto, sampler threads. And I do love her threads, so. Poor Spring Jack. He's not getting any love. Alrighty. This is another one that I didn't get into my my app. I don't have a picture of this because this is one of the Sue Lentz. I'm going to hold this back. This is kind of the design, part of the chart. I don't want to show it too close because I don't want you to see too much of the chart, although that doesn't really show you much of anything. Too hard to see. But anyways, Sue Lentz was a designer back in the 90s. She did amazing stuff with amazing different fibers and stitches. And I would get her newsletter and pore over her newsletter and pick out all kinds of projects that I then never did. Actually, I do have a couple done that I have hanging in my home, or had hanging in my home. But I have several more that I would like to get done at some point, and this is one of them. I think I picked this back up again. So I started this back in the 90s, and this is another one of the ones that I said I probably started when we were still working together. And I picked this up again last year and did a little bit more of the outlining and the filling stitches, but then other things came up, as they do in my stitching life. So anyways, this one I have down as a small. So I hope, it would be awesome to get this done. One of the things that I like doing is Christmas in July. So I will be, in July, my smalls will be focused on Christmas ones. So that's when this one will probably come out to play. And then in December, of course, I will have Christmas ones again. This one I started, I have December. I think this is another one. There was a whole bunch that I just did not get put into the app when I was feeling overwhelmed and out of sorts when we were in Hawaii. And this is another one of them. So I don't really know. I have in here that I started this in December of last year. I don't know if that's true or not. Sur la route d'Indy. So this is, so on the road to India is what that translates to. There's a quote in it by Mahatma Gandhi that translates to "one step at a time is enough for me," and I am probably going to try and translate that into English. And of course, if you know me at all, you know that my love for India runs deep. So this one I think I got, I don't know whether they had this on 1, 2, 3 Stitch or not. Isabelle Haucourt Vautier is the designer. Anyway, I started this in this upper corner right here. So I got some of the alphabet done, some of this tree done. And that is that there. I am stitching this with a gold filament silk that was gifted to me by my friend in Malaysia, Diane. She does beautiful work with dyeing filament silk. She does not sell it or anything, though I think she should. She does gorgeous work. And the fabric is a 36 count. I believe it's a color in cotton. It may be one that I got at StitchCon in 2018. I don't rightly remember, and because I don't have my notes accurate in my app, I don't have the information. But I don't have this down to be touched at all this year, and that's probably for the best. Although I'm looking at it thinking, oh, I'd really like to get that done. That would look awesome hanging somewhere. All right, so next we have one called Sweet Home Spring. This was another gift from my bobbin when I was promoting them back when they were first starting. One of the designers has a whole series of doors for the different seasons. And I got all 4 of them, and I started this one, spring. I'll have to look and see when I go back to the notes. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, so pretty. Absolutely a stunning design. I started this one in March. This was a birthday start in March of 2019. I'm doing this over 1. Let's see, the designer is Anna Petonova. I am doing it over 1 with the called for DMC. Now, the problem with this, doing it over 1, this is a design that has some blended threads. So, one of the options, and I forget who, this is a 25 count, I believe it's a Murano. Somebody out there had suggested, and it might have been Deb of Country Stitches, about the same time that I was working or starting this, she was working on a piece that had blended stitches on a fabric that would only allow you to use 1 thread. And that's where the problem comes in, because the blended stitches, of course, involve taking 2 threads, 2 different colors of thread, and stitching them with them together. So she suggested using some kind of variegated thread that might pull both of those colors in to get around that problem. So this little, the kind of pinky gray part in the area in the middle there is one of those sections. And I just happen to have, I believe I got this from Lynette Peters from Australia. She sent me this that seemed to do the trick. So I'm using DMC for most of it, but when needed, I will see if I can find a variegated thread to answer the need. So that I do not plan on working. I do have on working, oh, let me finish a sentence. That I do not plan on working on in 2021 or 2015. I am not going back to the future. I do have in my bag, though, the fabric cuts for the 4 other doors. Because I make so much progress on these, I need to have that handy. Oh my God. I wanted to make sure I kept it all consistent, though, when I do get to it. Not 2021, though. All right. The next one is another biggie, and is another, God, I really want to finish this year. This is one that I started, Lord only knows how long ago. Chatelain's Taj Mahal Mandala. And yes, another India themed one. I got this as a Christmas present. Let's see, the copyright on it is 2005. So I probably got this as a Christmas present, maybe 2006, maybe 2010, somewhere in the early 2000s. Back when I was doing some stitching, you know, my stitching career, I didn't do a lot after the boys were born, so that was 96 and 98. But every once in a while, I would splurge back into it and do it a little bit and then not again. And this was one of those splurges back into it, the Taj Mahal Mandala. So I probably got this as a Christmas gift somewhere around in there and have worked on it off and on over the years. I was really hoping that I would get more done on it this year, that I could possibly finish it. So that you can see that didn't happen. I would love to finish it this year. I got this as a kit from European Cross Stitch. They are one of the main ones that carry the full kits. She doesn't do as much anymore, I don't think. But she does carry Chatelaine and she does carry the kits. So this is the called for everything. As you can see, I do have the center done except for the beading. And I started to work on one of the side panels with the Taj facade on it, and the reflecting pool is done. I have been to the Taj Mahal 3 times, I think, different times of day each time to catch it in different moods. It is an amazing experience to be there. So, I would love to get this finished this year, and I do have it as one of my finishes. Wish me luck. I need to move this up in the year though. Patchwork hoity-toity, this one. Oh, it's so hard to choose. I love them all. It would be awesome to get all 3 of them finished though, right? If I didn't do anything else but those, I could probably get them finished. That's not going to happen. Whoa! Oh, there goes my bin. Oh, goodness. Things are getting a little precarious around here. All right, this next one. Started this in January of 2018 because this is the 2018 Stitch Along from Modern Folk Embroidery. Look familiar? This is 40 count linen, flagstone from Lakeside Linens. Again, just a gorgeous, gorgeous linen. So, for those of you that have been with me for a long time, you will remember that I started this in the wrong direction on this fabric. And when I realized that, I cried. So I restarted it again, and I actually started with decided to have a different color palette because I was getting kind of bored with what I was doing for the winter months. I'm doing different things for each season because I wanted more color, because that's how I roll. So what I was doing was when I would pick this up to work on it, I would work on it some, and then I would pick out some of what I had put in wrong. So it was slowly happening, but I haven't worked on it obviously for quite a while. My plan is to make this, what do I have down here if I can read it? I plan to make this my small throughout the year. So in the hopes that I can work on it each season for a little bit and get each season done in its season. I don't, as you can see, I don't have a whole lot of winter left. I just have the bottom half of winter to go. So if I can work on it as a small, an hour a day throughout the season, whether it's 1 month or whatever, hopefully I can get this one done. I am using a variety of over-dyed flosses. Kind of, my idea was to kind of have a palette that I kept that palette, but changed the depth of the shades to reflect the season. So the green, for instance, would change from a kind of a drabber green in winter to a bright spring green in spring, to the rich green, the more emerald green of summer, to a deeper evergreen. That should be evergreen, should be winter, but you get it, for the deeper jewel tones for autumn. So that had been my plan. Hopefully I can keep with that. All right, so getting down there, that is the 4 seasons. Oh my God, this next one. I love it and I hate it. Again, for those that have been with me for a while, you will remember what happened with this. The Things Unseen Mystery Sampler from Lizzie Kate. So, let me bring this up. I started this in August of 2018. I think this was a stitch along with several of us. Christine Slaughter, Stitch All the Things, was one of them. I'm pretty sure she finished hers. Stephanie of Just Keep Stitching, I'm pretty sure she finished hers. I seem to have a theme happening of just getting stuff wrong. Okay, this is what I have done. So pretty, right? So pretty. Now look at the pattern. So that's this, right? This here. Quite a bit left to do on that pattern, right? The fabric just ain't gonna cut it. I don't know what I was thinking. I have a feeling I must have just looked at the stitch count for the first piece. So I debated. Somebody said just like cut off the flower pot and just make a small. What I really want to do, but what is holding me back, is to just sew on, like you see with Blackbird Designs has done, sew on the fabric that I need. Different but similar. This is a 32 count. I have so much 32 count. This is French, country French latte fabric. But to sew on what I need and just keep going over the seam. Now, the other designers that you see that do that don't ever have stitches actually crossing the seam, right? It's one design and another design on a separate piece of fabric and they're sewn together. So that works fine. To do it this way, those stitches over the seam would just be weird. And of course you can see I'd have to. So this one, most beautiful, that would be fine going on a different piece of fabric, but the border would have to continue contiguously. There's, let's see, the word world, the next one down would probably cross the seam. I mean, pretty much all of the rest of this going down here would probably have stitches that would have to be stitched in the seam. Now, so it's what I have in mind to do. It's also a little intimidating because it is something strange and different. But I think if there's anything that has happened over this past year that I've learned is not only that I'm not afraid to try strange things. I mean, I'm stitching on uneven count fabric, and I'm working on a 3D design that I hope will turn out in reality like it is in my head. But it is still, you know, something that's different and a little bit intimidating, and it does involve the sewing machine as well. So, because I want to make sure I sew it accurately, right? I have it down on my list to do in the spring. What I would like to do is just sew the other pieces of fabric on that I need and just stitch it. And however it comes out, it's going to be wonky and different. Seems rather appropriate for me. It'll be outside of 2021, but what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I've discussed this other times, of course, on my channel, because I've shown this other times, and the problem happened on my channel while I was, you know, you guys have seen this before. But anyways, let me know what you think if you haven't seen it before, or if you just think I'm crazy. I'm open to that information as well. Well, we already know I'm crazy. All right, next is another one that isn't getting any attention this year. It's another full coverage, the Tree of Dreams. This was a kit I got off of Amazon, I believe. It's gorgeous. But another full coverage, I don't need that right now. So, this is a 28 count. I am stitching over one. I did start in the bottom left, so let me bring up the picture again. I started down there where those streaks of blue are. And so what I have on my fabric is streaks of blue. There they are. Ta-da. So, again, won't get any attention this year, but it'll wait for me. Funny how that works, right? All right, so what is next? Next is one that I do hope to get finished. So this is another one on my finish list. And this is also another one that was a kit from my bobbin. And it is gorgeous. And I do have another one in this series, and many of you, oh look, I did it. I've earned another hour toward my stand goal. Did any of you guys see me stand? I love it when my watch tells me that. Yep, I stood, walked around for a minute. Didn't you see? Vitreous Art. There are 3 in this series. I have 2 of them. I know many of you fell in love with this as much as I did and was able to get them. I know that, there was the store in the UK carried them, and then they went out of business. I don't know if anybody, well, I'm pretty sure they are on my bobbin. I don't think they are called Vitreous Art anymore. I believe they are called Glass Art or something like that. They are still available on my bobbin though. As always, I am not using the Ada that came in the pattern. I am using a 32 count Tyco linen, and this is the linen that Teal Elder gave to me. This is one of the ones that I had started on a smaller count, probably on a 36 count, and realized that because there are blended threads in this, 36 count wasn't going to suffice. It wouldn't work. So she sent me a piece of 32 count. And I love this. I think this is a stunning piece. Now, I do have quite a bit more to go. I mean, I have most of this vase done, but I have the Pussy Willows to do, and then those 2 little pieces. But whenever I work on it, it does seem to go pretty fast. There is a lot of backstitch. But I would love to get this finished. So this is marked as a finish for me this year. I won't pick it up until later in the year, hoping that I get some of the other things finished first. But I do love that. And like I said, I have one of the other ones as well in that series. So I am using the floss that came with the kit. I'm just not using the fabric. Nope. You go here. All right. Oh my, we're getting down into the W's. I only have one more to show you because the other ones are Christmas ones that I already showed you yesterday. Oh my God. I think we're still over an hour, but I don't know how long. So my last one is called Welcome Friends, and it is also a kit. And I believe I got this from Amazon. It's a dimensions kit that I got, back in January of 2018. So this I got not long after I started back to stitching. I started back to stitching somewhere in mid-2017. Started back to stitching hardcore, I should say. And I love, love, love the colors of these grapes. I think this is so pretty. Once again, I am not using the Aida that came in the kit. I am using a 32 count unknown linen. And I have one of the clusters of grapes almost done and some of the leaves. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh God. So yeah, I do not have this down as being worked on this year. And I want to do it like the alternative here to say welcome to the Hicks. So, won't get worked on this year. I sure do love it. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, I did want to add here at the end, I do have 4 more starts coming this month. The Smith sampler that I am starting with a few of you. That is New Year's Eve. And I'm also starting, let me turn to that page. I'm starting, Midnight in a Garden. That is Sampler Cove, and I am using the Vicki Clayton. It calls for the Vicki Clayton silks, and she has don't see them, but they're up there. She has made the silk pack for that pattern again, so I got that. So that's New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve, I'm starting the Star Mandala from Counting the Stars. I thought that was appropriate for Christmas Eve, starting a star piece. And then Christmas Day, I'm going to be starting 2. Oh, I'm starting 5. Feed the Soul, Flowers Feed the Soul from Stitching Through the Years, and Mandala Squares from Counting the Stars. So I don't know yet where they're going to fall into the New Year's, the 2021 things, but they'll be in there somewhere, I'm sure. So anyways, let's see. Speaking of videos, speaking of new starts, speaking of Christmas and New Year's, Christmas. Next week is Christmas. Next Friday. Wow. Today's Thursday, right? So next week, Christmas Eve. We leave on the 24th through the 29th for the going out in our little trailer up to a little recreation area north of Houston. I will probably not do a video again. I may do one. No, the 23rd is when we're moving sites. I probably won't do a video again until we get back. from our little outing. So maybe New Year's Eve you'll see a video from me. So yeah, I think I'm ready for a little break from videos. I will be doing tons of stitching between now and then, of course, because I have a lot to get done yet this month. And you will see 5 new starts. Well, 2 of them are on New Year's Eve, so you won't see those ones yet. Maybe I should do a stitch with me starting those. I don't know. You know, you never know what you're going to get from me, right? But until then, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for making this so fun. Thank you for making this year so fun. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, and I appreciate your support. It means the world to me to know that you do enjoy the craziness that is my stitching world. So, have a great Christmas Eve. Merry, Merry Christmas to all of you who celebrate. Have and enjoy the rest of this December, this crazy year that we have. Take care of yourself. You guys, with all that snow, be careful out there. Know that I love you, and I will talk to you soon.